All right, we're here with world number one, TopherJaims, winner of the 2024 VRPGA Championship. Topher, congratulations on another win. We'll send it to you for an opening statement.
I appreciate it, and thank you. I very excited to won the PGA Championship at Valhalla. Valhalla is definitely one of my favorite courses, and I played it so much before the update to the present yardages and the settings that the PGA players played. And so I felt very confident going into the tournament, knowing that I love the course so much. I practiced it quite a bit. I broke down and had a game plan for every hole. And thankfully, in the first two rounds, I had a pretty hot putter, and then the last two rounds, I just coasted the rest of the way. And I was very happy to put up the score that I did, and feeling pretty good about it. Got a little nervous, watching the other major players playing, just because anyone can get hot at any time. But overall, I'm very happy with how I played this week.
Topher, you talk about the strategy you had coming in. Can you walk us through a couple of holes in particular that you had your eye on that you saw during your practice rounds?
Honestly, the strategy with the new yardages and the new changes, the biggest one was hole 14, the par three, being linked out to 250 yards. So that was the biggest change, but it almost worked better in my favor because previously it would have forced me to play a 3 iron, but since it got increased up to 250 yards, I got to rely on my 3 wood, and that's kind of been a utility club for me. So yeah, it was a challenge, but also almost a saving grace that it was a longer hole, so I could be more aggressive with my 3 wood. And then the by far the scariest hole on the course is hole 6, the par 4, with the layup in the fairway and then crossing over the water. That hole probably made me the most nervous, just because it's very easy to get a bogey. But yeah, the changes in the yardages, the lengthening, the tees, it made it very challenging. But overall, I think we were actually spoiled this week because the first 3 days were on low wind, and that allowed us to be more aggressive and no high winds at all. So it was really more or less, it was more of an opportunity to shoot low and trying to minimize mistakes.
Topher, when you were looking at the leaderboard, was there a number in mind that you wanted to get to that you thought would be good enough to win?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my friends know that I have a rule for myself every week to be successful, and that is at least one double digit under round, so 10 or better, and shoot at least 30. If I can do that, then I'm usually a winner, because since the Golf Plus Tour started, outside Wolf Creek, there's only been one event that other players have shot negative 30 or better. So that's usually my rule. When I started my rounds and how previous people have played, honestly, my goal was shoot 30 under in the first 3 rounds. That was my goal. And I failed it because I shot negative 29, but it was still good enough. The first 2 rounds were just so good. I was so happy with how I played that I just was like, okay, just don't screw up the last 2, just play solid, and it should be good enough. But yeah, usually that's my rule, is negative 30 or better for every event.
Topher, with your knowledge of Valhalla and experiencing it so much within Golf Plus, does it help to appreciate what Xander Schauffele and the rest of the pros were doing over the weekend?
I think I'm lucky. Like, the VR golfers are actually luckier than the PGA pros in real life, in most parts. So, like, the whole 18 challenge for Xander, obviously he was pressured to win his first major, but he didn't give himself a good second shot, but was still able to get up and down. Whereas for us, I mean, anything in the fairway, we can put it on the green, because we just have that option or the opportunity to do that in the video game. Um, but in other cases, like hole 13, hole 4, the short par 4, especially when they change the tee blocks to kind of dictate whether they can be aggressive or not, I think they're at a little bit more of a benefit. I'm normally a short. I shouldn't say short. I'm normally average off the tee, about 300 yards, and so I can't really get aggressive, or else I probably would have went after the green on 13 a few times. But thankfully, I didn't feel the pressure that Xander did. Because the tournament structure was definitely different for him. Obviously, it's real life. You have to take it day by day, and just with the experience with the VR, golf with the Golf Plus Tour, it's just easier to handle the pressure more because we do it every week. We constantly play against the best in the world, and it was just another week, so to speak, for me. It wasn't as much pressure as a PGA Pro would have felt.
Last question for you, Topher. We saw Alejandro Tosti on Sunday drive the green on 13. We saw Jordan Spieth try to do it as well. Did the thought ever come during the tournament to try to pull driver on 13? Have you attempted it before, or was that just not something that was coming out in the tournament?
Oh yeah, and tons of times, and that's the great thing about the video game, is to be able to really practice all the good shots, the bad shots, the crazy shots, and really that's probably my biggest benefit is how much I play the video game. Is I play 4 to 6 rounds a day. Normally it's just to hang out with friends, but we'll play straight up, try to make a solid score, or we'll just screw around and see what dumb things that we can do. But at the same time, I'm learning, like, this shot works, this shot doesn't. And so when I got to hole 13, those 4 rounds, I knew exactly what my capabilities were. And 99% of it is I can't make it to the green. I've tried many times before, unless it's from, a wind benefit or a shorter tee, then I could go after it. But my game plan, like I said, I had a strong game plan for every hole. I knew exactly what I wanted to do or how to save myself. And hole 13, I never even tried or even thought about doing a driver. It was always a layup.
TopherJaims is your 2024 VRPGA champion. Topher, congratulations once again. We'll see you next year at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, very excited for the prize. Thank you so much, Golf Plus, for allowing me to do this, and I can't wait for next year.